All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever on what time it is for you. Let's do a quick breakdown of today's trade because some of you guys were in my DMs asking me about my entry. All right. But we'll take it from the start. Let's start with what we had this morning at around 8 or 9 on the 1 hour time frame. All right. So I didn't start my day um, by finding a short zone. All right. The thing I was looking at was the next potential buy zone. So we can draw our fibs either from that low. So this one like that. I just have to switch the settings. All right. So this one, but it's not clear whether we are reacting from this fib or this one. So for now, you could say that this one has a bit more reaction since we are reacting on the 61, but we can't forget the major big fib right there. So I actually add these two fibs. So one like that and one like that. This one would be a bit longer, so just like that. All right, now I didn't used to use the take profits level that much, which are these ones, but I've did a lot of backtesting in these past weeks, and I found that they were reacting pretty damn well on gold for the past months. So I now started to use those take profit fibs level. So how would I use them? You can use them as more as additional confluences for your buys or shorts. So in this case, if we want to if we want to look for potential buy zones, then we can put some take profit zones for shorts, right? So let's just say the guys that shorted this fib, all right? So this fib from down there to here, they shorted the 50 or 61, probably the 50 right there, okay? And then we don't need those additional lines, so we only put the take profit levels. And what do we have? Well, we have this take profit level, so the minus 27 right there and the minus 61 right there. We can even add another one, so from this high right there to this one right here, right? So now we have another 27 right there and the 61 and so far and so on. Okay, so these are the take profit levels we had on that. Now, what do we have on the first zone of interest? We've got this major level. And if you look throughout the chart on 3310, we've made some major moves basically every time we touched that level. So my level was looking like this, all right? So from there to the other 78 and then 88, so you can add them. So something about I added it to 32.95, so like that's why I included the small 88 too. And as I said, if you look at every time we touched that 3310, we've had some major upside or downside. We had some reactions, all right? Once again, right there, right there too. Then you can continue for long, all right? So it's a major fucking level. So we had this major buy level. So once price reach that level, first of all, it will be a major take profit level for institutions since they have some good take profits level. Plus, you have some great technical confluence on it. So it would be an A plus zone right there. So that was the only zone I would be looking for today for buys. Then, of course, you could have had the big 88 right there with the minus 61, the minus 100. So this big zone too, if that zone would have been breached. But for now, I only had this one since it was like basically 250 pips away. So the odds that we would reach that zone today was super low, and we would have needed to have some type of falling knife, but like a really big one, which did not happen. All right. So now I wanted to look at potential short zones. Why? First, because you have this major trend line right there, which every time was respected. So as long as price was staying below that trend line, it was pretty bearish. And then we were approaching this level right there, right? This way too easy level to spot. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touch, all right? And it was never broken. I'm sure a lot of retails were thinking about buying that level because they are straight dog shit, all right? So it was, in my mind, it was basically a 80% chance that this level was going to get sliced through like butter, basically. So I had either two scenarios for today. All right. So first one was a short from around this downside impulse, so we could get our best price for buy zone. Or second scenario, we could have potentially bought here. Well, I wouldn't have took it because it was way too risky for me when price gets that many reaction on the level. It's just too risky. I wouldn't have tried it even if we had made a structure on that. But price could have went reacted on that and then went above the trend line, made some structure on a retest of the trend line, and then pushed higher up. So those were the two scenarios for today. But the only one I was interested in trading was the short because I thought that the buy was too risky until we would have broken that trend line. If the trend line would have been broken, then I would have probably looked for buys. But as long as the trend line was not broken, I was looking for shorts. Now let's go on the 15 minutes. Currently it was 8:45. So only thing I was waiting was a pullback to retest a nice area so I could trace my fib. So let's go up a bit. All right, so now we had our low, so we could actually trace our fib from the high right there to the new low, right? So it's a small time frame fib, of course, but they tend to work on impulse like that. So select fib. All right, now we have to look at our potential short zones. All right, first of all, there was probably this one which I didn't put in my charts because once again I thought it was a bit too easy. 50 fibs, a lot of people are trading 50 fibs. Now 50 fibs, a little retest of the last broken low, a bit too easy for me, so I didn't had it on my charts. And then the level I was interested in was basically this whole level, right? So from the 61 to around the 88. The 88 wasn't really interesting in that case because there was basically nothing on it. So the best level was the 78, but the how do you say this? The big key level in this case was starting from that wick right there at 33.38. All right, and of course on the 15 minute it was coinciding with those EMA and SMA 200. So my zone, I decided to start it from this wick right there. So as you can see, there's a lot of movement on that price. All right, so from there to around here, that was probably the perfect zone. I don't remember how I put it exactly, but it was either like this would have been the perfect zone, but overall the right zone was something like this. All right, so now only thing we need to do is to wait. So let's go forward. All right, now 5-minute. So we finally had the touch of our zone. All right, so if we wanted to be super precise and put our zone on the 78, we would have missed the move, right? So it was super valid to put it starting from 33, 38.8, because if you look at this, we have one reaction, another reaction right there, lots of reactions right there, and of course this reaction right there. So starting our zone from there was super valid. Now, what I saw, and this is why I decided to enter the trade right after the close of this candle, was first of all, this candle closed below the 5-minute EMA and SMA. Then we went and grabbed some more liquidity, touched to our zone, but right after closed once again right below the moving average on the 5-minute. So we had our touch of our zone, but then the moving averages right there, plus even the 61, were acting as some type of resistance. So it was there was high odds that the price would reverse probably on that. So it was valid to take a trade around there, or even you could have waited for a last retest after that. So you could have entered, let's say, around the retest here. You put your stop loss. You enter on the retest here, or a bit aggressive like me right there. You put your stop loss right on that. So it was at 27 pips. For me, it was about a 22 pips. I don't know on that why it's 27, but on my broker it was around 22. So you put your stop loss right there. It's less than 30 pips, so it's very good. And now your TP could have been, you could have a lot of TP, all right? So you could have pussy TP around there. You could have a better TP, but still a bit pussy around there. And then you could have the top GTP around 33.10, which would have been our next buy zone, all right? I would have probably have my final TP around that zone, since if you look at this, no, it's not a fib, but it's a minus 61 of this trade we took, and we are starting to get this level from these wicks. So that would have been for me the perfect take profit, right? So that was the trade. And then once you're in and price decided to move down, you could have put your stop loss to break even. I didn't put my stop loss to break even until we broke and closed that low right there, because since I entered a bit early, I thought maybe there was a chance that price would have broke those little wicks right there, and then touched the 200 EMA and then came back below. So all I needed was to wait. So it took its time, but after a bit of fuck up right there, finally worked, and then everyone ate. Basically everyone made some good money, all right? And now price is trading around 33.17 or something like that. So that was the breakdown for today. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow on the charts like always.